right? All investments have three phases. What are those three phases? Phase one, contribution phase. Right? Remember, what was that? Money going in to the account, right? That's money going into the account. Phase two is what? Accumulation phase. Right? That is money growing inside of the investment, right? That is money growing inside the investment. And then phase three is distribution. That is now money, Audra, coming out of the account, out of the investment, right? So if we did some comparisons real quick, right? If we did some comparisons real quick, for example, go down on a 401k real quick, right? Let's go down on a 401k. We can break each of these phases up real quick. What do I mean by that? Jay, contributions to a 401k. I love it. Abby goes, this is going to be fire, right? How do you know, Abby? We haven't even gone through it yet. All right. She goes, this is going to be fire. All right. Thanks for hyping me up, partner. 401k, contributions. The money going into the policy is what? Pre-tax. Right? Money going inside the policy is pre-tax. So what does that mean? Tay, when I contribute, let's say my income is $50,000 a year. I'm supposed to pay taxes on how much? $50,000 a year. But if I put $5,000 into my 401k that year, now my income tax for that year is $45,000, right? However much money I put into a 401k, I do not report income tax on it that year. So contributions are pre-tax dollars. Now, the accumulation, the growth on that money is what? Number one, it's variable. Right? It's variable. It'll go up, it'll go down with the stock market on the accumulation. Also, the taxes are deferred. Taxes are deferred. So as my money grows, right? As my money grows, I do not pay any taxes. Why does it? So how does my investment grow? Variable, whatever the stock market does, pluses and minuses. What about the tax treatment? It's deferred. So if my $5,000 becomes $7,000, I don't pay taxes. It becomes $10,000, I don't pay taxes. Now, you ready? On distribution, when the money comes out of the account, right? It is now what? Taxable. As what? Ordinary income. Which is state and federal. Same way you pay taxes on your paycheck. Now, compare this to an IUL. First off, is this helping everybody out? All right, gives you a nice visual here. And this is important for all of you to know. This is something very key that we help people on, right? Not only are you helping them on their life insurance, put that aside, but you're helping them have a better 3 phases of investments. All investments are going to go through this, Tracy. Stocks, you got to put money in the stock. Then that stock has to grow, accumulate. And then when you take it out, taxes, right? It's a tax now investment, stocks and mutual funds. But the two big ones always for us in comparison is a 401k versus an IUL. Or a TSP versus an IUL. So now, Yahira, when I contribute to an IUL, this is after tax dollars. So this is pre-tax money. This is after tax money. So remember, what is the question that we always ask clients? And if you don't know this question, I'd write this down. This is a key question to always ask your client. Naomi, I always ask, if you were a farmer, would you rather pay tax on the seed when it's little or wait till later and pay it on all of the harvest? And obviously the answer is what? I'd rather pay it on the seed when it's little. So what's the difference? In my 401k, I'm saying I don't want to pay tax on the seed. I will wait till later and I'll pay it on the harvest. This is the harvest right here, right? On distribution. In an IUL, you're saying, I prefer to pay tax now on the seed. This is why you do after tax, right? So you pay tax on the seed money. Now, the accumulation in an IUL is what? Is indexed. What does it mean by indexed? It'll grow with the market, but it will never, ever lose to the stock market. And also, like a 401k, taxes are deferred. As the money grows inside of the policy, you are not paying any taxes on the growth. Taylor, what's up, bro? Distribution. Distribution. Taking money out. Tax-free. How? Through withdrawals and loans. Tax-free. So notice these two side by side. See, every investment works like this, right? What about real estate? If you think about it real quick. What about real estate? When I purchase a property, real estate, contribution. The money that I use to purchase a real estate property is after tax dollars, right? And a real estate, I don't have room to do it, but you guys can write a third column for yourself, right? And I'll do it verbally for you. So Yahira, when I get someone who turns around and says, look, man, I'd rather go buy real estate. Well, they have to also understand there are 3 phases of investments in that real estate property, which is what? The money they use to purchase that property is after tax dollars. They've already paid tax, and they're using that as a down payment of that property now. Now, the growth inside of that equity, right, of the property, the growth on the equity is what? Variable in real estate. Does real estate have any guarantees? No. Can I lose? Can my home value go down? Sure, it can. Has that happened in the past? Of course. So my real estate value, my property value can go up, my property value can go down. Now, in the last so many years, or ever since COVID, property values have gone up. But there could be stabilization, which is what they talk about in 2024. So contribution after tax in purchasing real estate. Accumulation is variable because it can go up and down with the market. And the growth inside of it is deferred in real estate. Now, on distribution, what would be considered distribution in a property? When I sell, right? When I sell. So if I sell my property, I'm now distributing my cash out. Is that correct? I'm getting that equity now. I'm cashing out, okay? On a sale of my property, I now have to pay capital gains tax. Capital gains tax, meaning what? Yahira, what are the gains on my property? If I bought my property for $500,000 and I sold it for $800,000, remember, the $500,000 that I put was after tax. So I'm not going to get taxed on that $500,000. I'm going to get taxed on the what? On the gains of my property. So if I bought it for 500, sold it for 800,000, what are my gains? $300,000. I have to pay tax on the $300,000. That's the distribution on a sale of a property. So if you have these three next to each other, 401k one column, IUL in the middle, and real estate at the far end, let's say, right? I didn't have room to do it, but I want you to have that visual. These are three very big prominent investments people use. The more traditional ones they use is what? 401k and real estate, right? And a lot of people invest through their stocks and their mutual funds through their 401ks. Okay, look at it. What would I prefer to have? A 401k that my money is before tax, it accumulates variable deferred, and then I have to pay state federal tax when I touch it? Do I want to have a real estate where my money's after tax, it grows variable and deferred, but when I distribute on the sale of that property, Kate, I now have to pay tax on my earnings, on my gains? Or would I rather have an IUL that, just like real estate, the money going in is after tax, the growth is indexed and deferred. I'll get all of the upside of the market, but I'll never get the downside. How awesome is that? You participate in all of the growth of the market, but you don't participate in any of the losses of the market. And then my distributions are tax-free. All right? My distributions are all 100% tax-free. Pretty awesome. Obviously, IUL wins. All right? Those are the three phases of investments. Now, show you this. Wait a second here. Okay. So inside of this Transamerica brochure, where if you don't have this, I will drop this in the chat for you here in a few moments, right? But in here, you should always leave this to your clients at the end of your appointment, right? Whether they decide to become your client or they don't become the client at the time, and they go, well, I got to think about it. Let's do a follow-up, whatever it is. You should always leave your client with something. Now, you can email it to them, or what I like to do is I just drop it in the chat for them, right? It's quick. I drop it in the chat. Or you can get their email it to them, and now you have another lead in your prospect list, right? Now you have another name, another contact with an email that, Taylor, if you ever wanted to send out emails to your clients, you just got another email to add to that list, right? You build up that list. So we're talking about the tax side of this, right? The growth side of it. So look at this. Tax advantages. First off, one thing a lot of people aren't familiar with is that life insurance proceeds pass to your beneficiaries free from federal income taxation. This is another great way that wealthy people, or people that want to create generational wealth. Nowadays, you hear a lot about people saying, I want to do generational wealth. I want to build a legacy for my family, right? That's a big topic. Great. Here is one way of creating generational wealth. And I will always ask my client, how do you want to create generational wealth? They go, what do you mean? I go, well, Jay, would you prefer to generate generational wealth and transfer money to them taxable, or do you want to leave it to them tax-free? He goes, well, I want to leave it to them tax-free. I go, well, did you know that your 401k and your stocks and your properties and all that do not transfer tax-free? Those are taxable. But your life insurance will get passed to your beneficiaries free from federal income taxation. Is that awesome or what? Right? So when they go, I want to create generational wealth. How do you want to create generational wealth? How do you want to pass money to your beneficiaries? Do you want them to pay taxes on it, or do you want them to receive it tax-free? Well, I want them to receive it tax-free. Well, your 401k and those won't do that, right? This is a matter of asking questions. How do you want to do that? Do you want them to pay taxes, or do you want them to not pay taxes, right? Ask a couple questions. Now, look here. What did we say? Now, look at the accumulation phase. So, first off, is the life insurance proceed considered a distribution? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, Taylor, think about it. If I die, the insurance company is going to distribute my life insurance out, right? That distribution is also tax-free. So I get the money distributed tax-free while I'm alive. My beneficiaries get the money distributed to them when I die tax-free. It's tax-free to both. Tax-free to me when I'm alive, tax-free to my beneficiaries when I pass away. Is that good or what? Now, on the growth of the account is what? Deferred. Notice, life insurance contracts meet special IRS requirements that allow amounts credited to the policy value to accumulate. You see the word that they're using? Accumulation. To accumulate on a tax-deferred basis, meaning that money will compound and there will be no taxes as it is growing. Now look here. Tax-free access to the policy value. And what did we put? Tax-free withdrawals, tax-free loans. Is that awesome or what? So it grows tax-free and I take money out tax-free. So you guys will be the first group to see this, but I want you to see this. Give me a sec. Let me drop this in the chat for you for a moment. It's loading. Okay. Did you guys get that? All right. Taylor's giving me a heads up. Awesome. Okay. So here's one shift, and this isn't come out yet, but it will. In our step 3 presentation, I want you guys to see something. I'm making a couple shifts, couple adjustments here, and you guys are the first group to see this. One adjustment is, you'll notice here, this says tax advantaged. But a lot of our clients don't understand what tax advantage means. Let's be honest. Right? The other thing is here, tax advantage, and we just say tax-free access at any age. Where here's one of the shifts that you're going to see here shortly. Instead of tax advantage, we're changing this for you to tax-free. So when you're presenting with a client, hey, these are your tax now accounts. These are accounts that you pay tax later. These are your tax-free accounts, right? Compared to what we have here, which is tax advantage. Small shift, but a good change in language. Here's the other one. In the 4 cornerstones of the IUL, again, instead of tax advantage, tax-free access at any age, tax-free, you have tax-free growth, meaning you do not pay any taxes on the growth inside of that account, and you have tax-free access at any age. Is that pretty good or what? All right. Small shifts, but can make a big difference in the language and the presentation that you put out there. So this should, by Monday, this will be finalized to be out, because I'll show you guys another change being made. Yeah, get ready. That was like I threw up like a gang sign all of a sudden. Like, we got, all right. Okay, let's close this. Let's close that. Okay. Trey, how you doing? Good. All right, I'm going to log into Transamerica, and now we're going to run some illustration work. A sec here. It's loading. Give me a sec. There we go. Jeff. I was telling Jarek, I like when Jeff is on meetings with me. Not bad yesterday. Huh? Not bad. All right. Taylor, I'm still waiting for you to get just one commission like that, man. Waiting for all of you to get paid out like that. All right. Okay, so let's look at this. All right. We're going to go on a $500,000 policy. This is what we ran last week, right? So I want to first figure out my baseline. Remember? I want to figure out my baseline. What do? I run a target policy, right? I run a target policy, and I want to figure out my base going until age 70 contribution, right? So I want to see what is the target starting from year 1 to age 70. I'm going to add a chronic and critical illness because it's free part of the policy, right? It's free part of my policy. And let's look at this real quick. Okay. So $500,000 policy for a 35-year-old female. My baseline is $367.50 per month, which my target on that is $4,410. That is the annual contribution to the policy. $4,400. So this young lady at 35 years old, for a little bit over $10 a day, is going to get $500,000 of life insurance. So let's look at this like this. In a sec. Oh, did I close it? I did close it. Give me 1 second, guys. I closed that file that I did not want to close. There we are. So on an insurance standpoint, she's getting $500,000 of life insurance, $500,000 of chronic, critical, terminal illness. So a $500,000 death benefit, $500,000 of living benefits, right? Double-sided coin. So that's how you can reference to the insurance. I always explain to the client, I go, Keisha, the insurance benefit is a double-sided coin. What I mean by that is, on one side, it is a death benefit. We're protecting ourselves for our family and our loved ones. On the other side of the coin, it is a living benefit. You and I get that money while we're alive. Tammy, how's it going? Tammy, I hope you've increased your premium from $1,800 or $2,000, right? I challenge you to get to $4,000 by the end of the year. Now, let's go look at our contributions here and growth, and then we haven't ran distribution yet, right? So I want you to look at this. Contribution, $4,410 a year, which is the $367.50. Now, policy value is the accumulation inside that value, right? Policy value is the accumulation. Surrender value is always what they can access. That's what they can get. I also want you to make a note. Surrender value is what they will get if they walk away from the policy. So Tracy, I want you to look at this. Let's say year 6. Year 6, your client comes and says, Tracy, I want to cancel my policy. How much do they have in the cash value? $22,541. Now, how much can they touch? 15. How much will they get if they cancel and walk away from the policy? 15. But if they don't cancel, and God forbid they pass away, how much would their family get? $500,000 plus $22,000. They get $522,000. The client loses if they cancel the policy. Right? So who loses if they cancel? The client does, not the insurance company. So when I get in an IUL, should I even have the thought of ever canceling my policy? No. By the way, what kind of parent would I be to walk this earth without any type of life insurance or any living benefits either for my family? I should have something. All right? Now, the way I like to explain to a client is in 5-year increments. So Tracy, I don't like to go year by year by year by year. I do 5-year increments, meaning if this is a proposal, an illustration for Tracy, I would turn around and say, all right, Tracy, 5 years from now, and I highlight this, 5 years from now, we have contributed $22,000 total, right? 5 years of 4,400 is 22,000. What we have inside of our cash that is compounding and growing is 18,248. Now, if Tracy says, Johnny, where did that $4,000 go? I gave 22. Why do I have 18? Well, Tracy, that $4,000 went to protect you and your family with $500,000 of insurance benefit. Right? The insurance isn't for free. Now, real quick, 4,000. I want someone to do this math for me. Maybe Miko, you can help me do this math for me. Take 4,000. And that 4,000 is not there in how long? In 5 years. So divide that by 5 years real quick. And I'm going to ask you to unmute real fast with me here.
800.
Okay. 800. 800 in a matter of 5 years, correct? So $800 a year is going to get me $500,000 of insurance. Now, Miko, real quick, take that 800 divided by 12 months for me. How much is that per month?
66.66.
66.66. So meaning what? Tracy would be giving $66 a month. How much is she contributing? She is contributing $367.50 a month. A month. Out of that 367, based on the math that Miko just did, after 5 years, $66 of her 367 is going to get her $500,000 of insurance. So Tracy, is it worth you giving $367 a month? $66 gets you $500,000 of insurance benefit, $500,000 for $66, $2 a day. $2 a day. And the rest of the $300 is going to the cash value, to the savings. So is Tracy giving $367 a month for life insurance? No. She's only giving $66 a month for life insurance. The other $300 is going to the cash savings. Why do I say that? I want you to write this down. There's a difference between contribution and cost. There's a difference between contribution and cost. What is Tracy's contribution? $367. What's her cost? $66. Now, most people pay attention to cost in absence of value. Listen to this. Most people are more concerned about cost when there is an absence of value. Why is someone going to worry about cost? Because there's an absence in the value. You haven't given value to what they're getting for that. Everybody understand that? That's a mindset. That's a thinking process there. Okay, now, year 10, remember 5-year increments. Tracy, now in year 10, we have contributed $44,000. You have $42,000 in your cash. Now, does that mean that that $800 cost went away, guys? No, it's still there. But why is her cash value catching up? Compound interest. Compound interest. Right? Remember, compound interest? The power of compound interest is what? Time value of money. The longer, the more time I'm compounding, the more money I will have. What do I mean by that? Let's go back to the 3 rules of money real quick. I want everybody to look at the 12% column. This is the power of time. Listen to this. This is the power of time. I start with 10,000, correct? By the time 30 years goes by, my 10,000 has grown to $320,000. Is that correct? So it took me 30 years. Listen carefully here. Miguel, it took me 30 years to get my 10,000 to become 320,000. So Mickey, it took me 30 years to make $310,000. Everybody with me on this? Look at the power of compound over time. What took me 30 years to build, I did it in the next 6 years. That's the power of time. That's the power of time. It took me 30 years to get $10,000 to become 320. But then it only took me 6 years to get my 320 to become 640. Why? It's the time value of money. The sooner I start, the better. The longer I save and invest, the better. So what do you write on that? Time value of money. That is the actual verbiage for it. It's the time value of money or the power of time. Compounding only works with time. Hey, what if I went another 6 years? Think about that. What if I went another 6 years? My $640,000 would double to $1,280,000. So now, Naomi, what took me 36 years to build, I build it in the next 6 years. Power of time. Wealth is built with time. Wealth is built with time. That's why get rich quick doesn't work. I want to get rich slow, but get rich for sure. This is why if you're on here and you don't have an IUL, you're losing time. I want you to think about that. You're losing time. Time value of money. Time is against you in that. Okay. Let's go back in here now. So now watch this. Tracy, year 15. Remember, every 5-year increments, guys. Year 15. Tracy, you've contributed 66. You have 74. You can access that 74. Now, in an IUL, I want you guys to see this. From year 15 and on, what you have is what you can access. What you have is what you can access. What you have, what you can access. Every year from year 15 moving forward. That is not the case the first 15 years. But I want you to notice every year it gets less and less and less. Look at this. What's the difference here? $9,000. What's the difference here? $8,000. What's the difference here? $7,000. It reduces every year as your cash grows. $7,000, $5,000, $4,000, $4,000, $4,000, $3,000, $2,000 difference, $1,000 difference. And look at this. You're fully vested. Here's the language. Write that down. From year 15 moving forward, you are fully vested. So I show her year 15. Tracy, look at year 20. You've contributed 88. You're sitting on $120,000. You have access to that $120,000. Tax-free, penalty-free. Tax-free, penalty-free. By year 25, you contributed 110, you have $181,000. And you can access that 181,000 tax-free, penalty-free. Keep this simple. So this is the way I sell my IUL. You ready? This is how I explain it. This is what you gave right here. This is what you have. And this is what you can access. That's simple. This is what you gave. This is what you have. This is what you can access. Everyone should write that down. This is what you gave. This is what you have. This is what you can access. Look at this. Year 30. This is what you gave, $132,000. This is what you have, $261,000. This is what you can access, $261,000. By year 35, when you're 70 years old, how much did you give? $154,000. How much do you have? More than double, $366,000. How much can you access? $366,000. Simple. Now, what are we not showing in this illustration? Distribution. Income. On almost all of your IULs, you should be showing distribution. On almost all IULs, you should be showing money coming out for the client. Why? Why else am I getting an IUL these days? Because I want to build a tax-free retirement. So you go back to your case design, go to income, right here it says it, income. Click on the little calendar. I don't know how much this policy can pay me out. Right? I don't know how much this policy can pay me out. So what do I do here? Solve. I want to start taking money out from age 71 until age 85. Let's calculate. Hey, Doll, do me a favor. Log into your software. You're going to run the next one. Okay. So I want you to notice. I contributed a total of how much? Let me change this up real quick. I don't like the way they're doing that now. Jam the man. What's going on, brother? Thumbs up's always good. All right, so I want you to see this. I contributed a total of $154,000 into this account. Now I start taking out $27,795 as income, as a distribution from age 71 to age 85. How much am I taking out total? $416,000. How much did I put in? 154. How much am I taking out? 416, almost $417,000. You're taking out 3 times of what you put in. Is that powerful or what? Okay. Now follow me along. Remember last week I taught you a few questions to ask in the contributions. Realistically, is my client going to be putting $367 a month for the rest of her life? Realistically, probably not. So let's say she said, Johnny, I'm going to start with 400. Here's a few questions I always ask. Number one, Tracy, do you have a car payment? Almost everybody has a car payment. How much is your car payment every month? $350. How much longer do you have left in that car payment? 3 years. Great. So Naomi, what does that mean? 3 years from now, she pays off her car. So 3 years from now, she opens up $350. She's used to paying that as a payment to someone else. Why not now turn that $350 savings for herself? Meaning, put $400 for the first 3 years. From year 4, begin to put $750. Where did I get that additional $350 from? Her paying off her car. Simple. And let's say she does that until year 10 of this policy. Tracy, do you have any debt? Yes, I do. How much are you paying towards your debts every month? Oh, about another $400 every month I pay to my debts. Do you think 10 years is enough time for you to be totally debt-free? Especially if you're doing WFG? Yeah. Great. What if we also took that $400 a month? Let's just call this $1,000. And from year 11, you put it into the policy until age 70. The more you put, the more you're going to get. Right? This is my language. Tracy, the more you put, the more you're going to get. So when you look at an illustration like this is more realistic. I can also ask her, Tracy, how long have you been working for your company? 7 years. Is there any more room for growth? Yeah, a little bit more. Does that growth also give you a pay raise? Yeah, it does. Well, what if we took your raise and we put it in here? Your job is to ask questions to find money. If you don't ask questions, you will not find money. Everyone has money to save. Just like, Tracy, do you have a 401k? Yes, I do. Are you putting money in that 401k? Yes, I am. How much are you putting in that 401k? In each paycheck? $200 a paycheck. Oh, so you're putting $400 a month in that 401k. What if we took that 400 and we put it on top of this 400? Why do you want to put money in something that you're going to pay tax later? So she could start this with 800. And 4 years from now, she opens up $350. Let's just call it 300. From what? Her car payment. And then Miko, 10 years from now, she's totally debt-free. We take another 400, and now she can save 1,500. Your job is to look for money. Okay? Let's run the policy. Now, I want you to notice something here. Look at the message I'm getting. Premiums were adjusted to meet the guideline premium test requirements. So what does that mean? How many of you remember studying for your license and you studied something called a MEC, a modified endowment contract? Okay. This policy design at some point will not accept my premiums. And in this design, at some point, it will not accept my full premiums. Why? Because it would become a MEC. It'll become a modified endowment contract, and now it will become a taxable event. So the IRS says, if you want to be able to put more money into the policy, you have to get a higher life insurance amount. So it does not become a MEC. Now, MDs, or I should say SMDs, do not participate in this part, right? SMDs don't answer this question. Did you know this? I want everybody else to participate in this. Someone put in the chat, what do I have to change in my design of my policy? I went over this last week. What do I have to change in the design of my policy for it to be able to accept my premium? How do I find out how much insurance I want to get? Let me see the chat real quick. I know I got to change the face amount, but what do I do? Miguel, good job. Miguel hit it. Miguel hit it on the head. Minimum non-MEC. So what do I do? Change my face amount to what is called minimum non-MEC. Now, what is minimum non-MEC? I want to find out what is the minimum amount of life insurance I now need to get to accept my contributions. What is the minimum amount of life insurance I have to get to take the premium, but without this policy becoming a MEC, right? Remember, what was a MEC? It becomes taxable. I don't want this to be taxable. So Tracy, what's the lowest life insurance that will take that contribution, that premium, without it becoming a MEC? Chrissy, good job. Jasper, good job. Jam, good job. Miguel, good job. I'm just looking in there, right? Abby, good job. Minimum non-MEC. All right. So now let's look over here first. What's my face amount? I would have to get Tracy $1 million of coverage. Why? It will accept the premium. Notice you don't see zeros. Notice you don't see it dropping ever. Now, notice one thing. Let's go every 5 years now. Let's try this. So Tracy now is putting more money. If you put more, you should have more. If you put more, you should get more. And if you put more, you're also going to get more insurance benefit. So look at this. Tracy, 5 years from now, you've contributed $55,000. You have 48. Hang on a second. Miko, come back up real quick for me, please. You tell them, Miko. You tell them I'm about to talk right now, guys. Stop talking back there. Okay. Okay, Miko, check this out. In the last example, for a $500,000 policy, after 5 years, what was her cost? It was $4,000, correct? And we divided that by 5 years, which was $800 a year. So now, Miko,
Yes.
look, do the math for me. Now, for $1 million, if she put 55, she has 48. The difference is what? 7,000. Take 7,000 divided by 5 years.
1,400.
1,400. Right? 7,000 divided by 5 years, 1,400. Divide that by 12 months now.
$116.66.
Okay. 100. How much? 100?
$116.66.
$116.
Yes.
So is her cost, so tell me one thing, Miko, is her cost a little bit more? Is it a little bit more than before?
Yes.
Yeah. by 50 bucks. $50 more gets her double the coverage. Now, Miko, it would be common sense for me to say if my cost is more, I might get less money later on, right? I'm paying more in cost. I might get a little bit less later on. That's what most
No,
people, well,
right?
you're
Because it's
saying,
going to compound.
okay, very good. You're saying that because you're getting educated on this on a regular basis now. And are you licensed
Not yet, but I take my test today.
today?
Yes.
Oh, see, I don't know. This is God had me pick on you for a reason. Then, all right, you're gonna pass today. You know that, right?
Crossing fingers.
No, we know you're gonna pass. That's the mindset we have, right? So just say it. Say it yourself. Say, I'm gonna pass today.
I'm going to pass today.
That's it. Right? That's different than I hope I'm gonna pass. All right, good. So Miko's answer is on point. I'm gonna have more money to compound. But the average person doesn't think like that. The average person thinks, again, absence of value, goes, uh-oh, if I get more insurance, it's going to be more cost. More cost means I'm going to get less. That's what the average mind thinks. This is why you have to show them distribution. Notice, year 10. Tracy, you put in 121, you have 125, you can access 116. Remember, this is what you gave, this is what you have, this is what you could touch. Year 15, you put in $211,000. You have $254,000, and you can access 254. Year 20, every 5 years, you put in 300. You have 433. You can access 433. Now, if we go until age 70, by 70, you put in $571,000. Your money is sitting at almost 1.5 million. And Tracy, I want you to see, from age 71, you can start taking out $121,000 a year tax-free income. Tax-free, 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 tax-free. And Tracy, you put in $571,000, and what you're taking out is $1.8 million. You put in 571 and you're taking out $1.8 million. Now, can we do something fun? What if Tracy said, I'm going to wait a few years until I do mine? What if Tracy's like some of us who says, I'm going to wait a few years. I'm going to wait a couple years until I do mine. I can't have an IUL right now. Okay. So what if instead of 35, what if Tracy starts this policy at 38? Not a big difference. Only 3 years. Huh? Only 3 years. Not that big of a difference. Look what happens. First of all, for the same amount of money, instead of qualifying for over $1 million of insurance, it now gets cut down to $930,000. Why? She's older. She was at what? $1,020,000 of insurance. It got cut down by about $100,000. Second of all, notice this. Those 3 years, she's not taking out $121,000 anymore, is she? She can only take out $95,000. What's the difference? Let's do the math here. 121,000 minus 95,000. The difference is $26,000 a year. $26,000 a year less in tax-free income that she will receive because she waited. Remember time value of money? Because she waited. Power of time. Power of time. So instead of taking out 1.8 million, how much is she taking out now? 1.4 million. Those 3 years cost Tracy $400,000 tax-free income. Those 3 years. Is that crazy or what? So do you really want to wait? Start your own IUL, first of all. Do I really want to wait to start my kids' IULs? Do I really want to wait for my spouse to start their IUL? Do I really want to wait for any of my loved ones to start their IULs? They should all start now. Because if not, Viv, look what's happening. They're going to get less money later on. And not a little bit, a lot. Who doesn't want $26,000 more for starting early? Or an extra $400,000? Is this making sense, everybody? All right. I'm going to ask Doll to run one, and let's see how she does. We're going to put someone to the test here now. Doll, you ready? You should be able to unmute, Doll.
Yeah, Johnny.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Your software's up?
Yeah. But I had to log onto Rowena's. Unfortunately, mine has
I get it. Do you
access
have the software up? That's all I need to know. Yes or no?
I do. Yep, I got the software. Yep.
That's
I
it.
do.
Guys, all of you got to look, because you guys do this with your clients too. Just answer the question that was asked. That's all. Right? It's
All
like,
right.
if the IRS is going to audit you, you're only going to give them what they ask for. Now, let me teach you guys this. If you ever get in trouble with the police, not saying that I've ever been in trouble with the police, but you only give what they're asking for. Don't ever give more, don't ever give less. That's it, right? Same thing here. All right, let's go through this. Doll, I'm going to give you a scenario. You ready?
Sure.
You run this, then you're going to share the screen, and we're going to see how you did on this.
Okay. Share screen.
Okay, run me a 42-year-old female $500,000 policy and okay, very good. Can you first find out your baseline for me?
My baseline.
Finding
Where's
baseline means run your premium at what? At target.
a target? Yep.
Okay. You know, you could just click the menu and it'll give you the stuff on the side like it did mine.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. I'm using different computer, so I'll come back.
Very good. Okay. So we've got our baseline here, 6,390 a year, right? Which 6,390 a year divided by 12, that's $532 a month, correct? Okay. All right. Now, Doll, I want you to go back into the scheduled premium, scheduled contribution. I want to start off with $600 a month, $20 a day savings. I want to do that for the first 5 years. So years 1 through 5, 600. Then I want to go to 800.
Okay. Not this one. Policy doesn't. $600.
Then I want to go to 800 for the next 5 years.
Okay.
Then I want to go to 1,200 for the next 5 years. Good job. And then I want to go to 1,500 until age 70.
1,500 to age 70, 17. That's calculate.
Okay.
Hmm.
So go to the illustration. Click on the non-guaranteed value. So we just see that one. I don't need to see all those. Go back to that menu. I'm going to teach you this real quick. And just click on the non-guaranteed. There you go. So it only shows you the 7% column. You see that? It got rid of the other columns to keep it clean. Okay. Now scroll a little. It shoots my premium down. It gave you that same error, correct? So it doesn't accept my future premiums. What do you need to adjust here, doll? Make the proper adjustments so it can accept our premium now. This is how you guys learn, guys. Just doing what we're doing right now. MDs, you should do trainings with your licenses to teach them like this. So, doll, I'm doing with you what I want you to do with your licenses when they all get licensed. Right? So we need to adjust something to accept the premium. What do we need to adjust?
Change it to non-MAC.
Keep clicking. There was one more you didn't click over there. 500,000's not enough.
Okay, yeah, okay. 500,000, not enough. So then we'll put solve.
So close that. And what are you solving for?
Minimum non-MAC.
Very well. So now calculate that. Great job. This is how we learn. I know I'm putting you on the spot too. So now it accepts. So go up. And what's the death benefit that I need? Over 700,000. Right? So a little bit of an increase. So you would now need to provide me or this 42-year-old client a $700,000 policy instead of the initial 500,000. All right? Instead of the initial 500,000. Now, show me by age 70 what I have. What's going on by age 70? What's my total contribution, doll? Tell me this stuff. What did I give? What do I have? What can I access?
So what did you give? 386,400. What do you have? 653,704. And what do you can take? 653.74.
What I can access.
What you can access.
Right? So this is what you put in. This is what you have. And this is what you can access. Right? Okay. Now I want you to show me distribution. How much can I get out of this policy now? So we haven't shown distributions yet. So go back and run me distributions now, please. Very good. Very good. So do you know how much I'm going to get? How do you figure out how much I'm going to get? No. Go back.
No. Go back.
In the amount part, solve for it. So we're going to have the computer systems there. The software does all the hard work for you and I, right? Now, hang on. Go back to the calendar. We're not done yet. At what age am I going to start distributing?
Age 70.
Well, I'm going to stop contributing at 70. So I'm going to start taking money from 71.
71.
Very good. And I'm going to take it until 85, right? That's 15 years
Yes.
total. Okay. Now switch to withdrawal and loan. Click on that box and just do loan. So it all comes down in one column. Very good.
Okay.
And do okay. Now run that. Drew, you're right. Right? We shouldn't run 711,000. That's weird. We'll do a 750, right? But that we're just figuring out our baseline. All right. Premium is accepted. And look at that, guys. I would get $52,000 a year tax-free income. And Doll, do me a favor. By age 70, what's my total contribution?
Total contribution 386,400.
Very good. So the key thing now is, Mr. Client, by this time, you would have put in a total of 386. Now do a drag and drop on that 52,000 coming down. And hold it. Do a drag and drop. Keep going. And hold it up there.
Went too far.
That's fine. I see the number though.
Okay, sorry, hold on. Using a different computer.
What are you using? You're not using a Mac, huh?
No.
That's the problem. You guys, you non-Apple people. All right. I don't see the number.
I don't see it either.
Yeah, go that way now. That's fine.
There you
Stop
go.
it right there. Very good. Hold it. Hold. Why does it keep going away? Okay, it's about 800,000.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, it's about 800,000. There it is.
Yep.
782,000. So the key thing here is what, Mr. Client? You put in 386. What you get out is almost 800,000. So, Doll, I'm going to teach you something called sales, right? As I hate being as corny as sales. I would never say 782,000. What I will say is almost 800,000.
800,000. Yep.
Everybody understand that? I'll never say 782. You know what I will say? Almost 800,000. Or I'll say a little shy of 800,000. Now, if it was 805,000, you know what I would say? If it was at, let's say the total added up to 805,000, you know what I would say there, Doll? You put in 386, and Doll, what you're getting out is north of 800,000. North meaning what? Above. That's right. Right? You're getting north of 800,000. This is just language. Just like never say 500,000. Always say what? 500,000. Never say 250,000. Always say 250,000.
Okay.
Same value. Wording is a little different. All right. Doll, I have 5 words for you. I am proud of you. Good job. Awesome. Hey, did she do amazing, guys, or what? Could be a little nerve-wracking, right? I'm putting you on the spot in front of like 150, 160 people. Good job. Who was that? Was that L? Was that L's fist that came in?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. L, you should be proud of your wife, brother.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All day, every day.
All right. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to take your share screen off. Amazing. Good job, Doll. All right. Hey, all of you can do that the way she did, right? All of you could do that the way she did. You just got to practice it just like that. MDs, SMDs. If I'm training someone on illustrations, that's how I'm going to teach them. I'll run it, and then I'm going to say, all right, you run it now. You run it now. Share your screen. Run me this scenario, right? Run me this case. That's how you get good practice. Okay. Hey, anybody learn anything today? Right? Am I the only one? Because I'm learning too as I'm teaching you. All right. I got a couple minutes here. Want to share some other cool updates that you're going to see shortly, right? Let me bring this up. Give me a second here. All right. We are also making, on Monday, you'll see the final version of this, but we are also making an update to our one-page annuity presentation, okay? And we are gearing up for 2024. We want you guys to be doing a lot of annuities. Currently, this is the one page for annuities, right? It's got a lot of text, a lot of information on there, different illustrations there, right? And this is what you use to do a rollover appointment. I'm going to show you what it's becoming. This is not the final version, but get ready. This is what it's becoming. Right? Where if I have a client's money, their assets in a 401k, Keisha, I can explain to them that we can take your 401k, put it in the bank, but what you're going to get at the bank are fixed accounts, anywhere from 1% to 3%. So if you're earning your 401k at the bank at 1%, you have $100,000 you put, you get 1%, you're going to be at 101,000. Got to update that. Then your 101,000 gets another 1% compound. You're at $102,010. If we leave your 401k where it is in the investment, it is a variable. It'll go up and down with the market. So if you're $100,000, 1 year in the market earns 10%, you're at 110. If the following year you lose 10%, you're at 99. Or we can put your money with an insurance company. And an insurance company, we can put it in what's called an indexed account. And in an index account, you're going to get the safety of the bank and the growth of the market. Meaning what? When the market does 10%, you're going to earn that 10%. So your 100,000, just like the market, becomes 110. But when the market does negative, you have a 0% floor guarantee of no loss, and you have 110,000. Where do you want to put your money? You want to leave it where it is? You want to put it in the bank? Or do you want to move it with an insurance company and put it in an index account? Right? Very simple. And then you will show them, right, their strategy of what they can do. So this is something that's being worked on, right? We got a couple things, typos and stuff that we got to fix. Once we have an approval, we're going to shoot this out, right, to everybody. And they're very, very, very powerful. That way, nobody says in our team, right, only so-and-so is good at annuities. There's not one person in our team that is only good at annuities. We have tons of people in our team that are great at annuities, and they know a lot, and they're producing a lot. And let me tell you one thing. Always look at someone's cash flow. Where's their cash flow? If there are other people out earning them, then that means they're out producing them. That's really what it is, right? If someone's making more money than me, probably they know more than me, right? Probably they're doing better than me. So a lot of times it's not who knows more. It's also who's doing more, right? Who's doing more and who is more productive in that standpoint, right? In that standpoint. So, hey, I'm just going to recognize a couple people here in my base shop. Those of you that are just tagging in from other base shops, right? I appreciate you tuning in today. I just want to take a couple minutes here and recognize some guys in my base shop that are just killing it this month. They're submitting apps. They're helping families, right? I'm super, super proud of them. I just want to bring this up this way. Give me a second. There it is. All right. Those of you that got Next Wave, I know you got to jump. I'm going to see you on there right now, right? But hey, I am proud this month. We already got Q, who submitted an app for $100, right? John Tamez, 150. Jen Gorospe, 150. Awesome. Loida, a 43 and a 375 premium. Missy, 86. Daryl Stanton, 200. Awesome. John Tamez, 500. Revelin has 3 apps here back to back at 100. Awesome job. Abby, 1 app for 32, which is an Everest. Viv Dela Cruz, a 50 and a 60. Another one for 400. Good job. Wow, it's $1 million policy right there. Amazing, right? John Tamez, another one for 500. Diana Ruiz, 150. Let me see. Blanca Lopez, 300. Diana Ruiz, 300. Ingrid Hernandez, a 500. Marianne, a 300. right? Amira, awesome job, Amira. 500 for a $500,000 policy, right? It's an IUL. Good job. Diana Ruiz, 60. Abby coming in with a lot of Everest. I like that. Star McBain, right? Came in with an Everest app as well. So if it's not in the CSI, it's hard for us to know what you've done or to recognize, right? So super proud, those of you in on my end of my base shop, and I know there's more of you. You got more apps to put in, right? Good job. And I know you've been doing some rollovers. So we got to stay strong at this, right? And you have the tools, and you've gotten some info here in the last week and this week, right? For you to be able to do a better case for your clients, right? Do a better job for your clients. So you use this weekend to do what? Set up appointments, right? Weekends are some of the best times for you to get together with people because they're off, right? They're off. Weekends are some of the best times for you to do one-on-ones, do follow-ups, make your phone calls, right? I love weekend appointments because people aren't in a hurry, right? They're not worried about their kids' school the next day or putting the kids to bed, right? Or really doing much, right? They're home. They want to relax. And it's a good time for you to catch people and get some appointments out of the way. So awesome. Awesome job, right? Proud of you guys. So, hey, next week, we're going to go more through IUL. We'll work on more advanced illustrations, right? We'll work on more case designs next week. How does that sound, right? And we'll show clients putting money in up front. We can do some lump sum work, right? What happens when a client puts 10,000 up front, 20,000 up front, right? What does that do to their policy? What does that do to their income, right? For their clients? And remember, time. The sooner someone starts, the better. So the last thing I will remind you is don't forget Transamerica has a promotion right now until the end of the year. And that promotion says that anyone who applies for a policy, right? Anyone who applies for a policy and they get approved, they're going to give them a bump up in their health rating, right? So there's until December 31st to submit these apps, and Transamerica will give them a bump up, right? If they get accepted for non-tobacco, Transamerica will give them preferred. If they get approved for preferred, Transamerica will give them preferred plus. And what that means, it means more cash value. What that means, it means more money getting distributed out of the policy. The better the health rating, the better cash they're going to have, right? So applications need to be submitted by December 31st for it to count here, and they got to be approved by January 19th. That's when they have to be approved by, right? So the sooner you submit it, the better it is for the client as well, all right? So appreciate you guys.